Hi, and welcome to NOFOMO. I'm your host, Woods. Thank you for tuning in. Here, our focus is discussing the mindset and objective of being an effective and efficient trader. No fear, as we don't miss out. We don't take losses. We elevate. Stay tuned as we have a conversation with one of the master traders from the Elevated FX program and see what is the secret to consistency and accuracy in this market. So today our guest is the Institute Trader, IT for short. I've been watching this guy trade for some time and he's very impressive. So I'm very excited to have a discussion with him and just get to know him a little better and see how his process is in the market. So welcome, IT.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Man, I appreciate you coming on to have a conversation with me, man. I'm so excited to sit down and just have a discussion and see how your flow is because I see how your process is watching you with the classes that you teach and just your structure with everything is amazing. So tell me about yourself. How long have you been trading?
Thank you. So I have been trading for this November will be exactly 8 years. So I started back in November 2014, and yeah, it's been a journey. It's
Wow.
been a very long journey.
Amazing, man. Amazing. That's a good amount of time trading. I mean, so with your 8 years experience in the market, what would you say would be your biggest struggles that you've had to deal with throughout your 8 years?
Um, it's been a couple. First, it's got to do with finding the right knowledge, right?
Right.
Finding the right knowledge because there's a lot in the industry, and you just have to find the right one. And I'm the sort of person that I don't settle for mediocrity, so I look for the best. So I did do some courses, and at the end, they didn't satisfy what I was looking for. So I kept going and going. That's why my journey has been that long, because I just kept going, looking for something that will make sense to me. And
Right.
that's what trading is about. You need to find something that makes sense to you. So the biggest challenge was, first of all, finding something that makes sense to me. And then once I found something that was making sense to me, then the mindset to be able to do it consistently. That was the second struggle, to have a mindset that you can consistently produce the the competence that you can basically use to extract money from the market. And that's the second struggle.
Ah, great, great. What markets do you trade? What all markets do you trade?
I predominantly trade the currency markets. I do trade oil and gold, but predominantly I'm always trading the currency market.
Ah, okay. Most definitely. I see that. So what would you say would be what is one of what would you say is your best out of your 8 years experience? What is one of your best days?
Come again with your question.
What is one of your best days?
My best days. So I've had quite some good time in trading where there are certain knowledge that once you have it, it's just going to give you the edge that you need to trade the market efficiently. So in November, it was actually last year, November 2021. I remember I shorted Bitcoin up there when it started declining. I saw that there was going to be like a massive drop. So I shorted Bitcoin and made like over 480% return.
Oh my goodness.
I took it in November 21st and then closed it in January. So if you look at
Wow.
the Bitcoin charts, I shorted in November and closed in January and made over 480% return.
That's amazing. That is a hell of a swing.
Yeah.
So like what what was your process to prepare for that moment?
So the way I trade, right? I understand. I've done a lot in terms of price action, and I've done a lot of tape reading. So tape reading is just looking at his charts and then trying to understand how each individual candles is moving. So with years of experience staring at the charts, I came to some knowledge on my own to understand how the charts are moving. It's just got to, you have to be patient for the chart to set itself up. So in runabout mid-November, I saw the Bitcoin market was going to drop, but I had to wait a couple of days for the market to be ready for me to go in. So the idea is we are going to drop, but you have to be patient for the market to present that opportunity. And in November 21st, it just presented the shorting opportunity and I went for it. So my process is mostly looking at where market is looking to go, right? It's not about finding an entry right now. It's about understanding that market is here and it's about to go there. So once you understand it's here and it's about to go here or there, then in between, that's where you plan your trades. And that's one of the things that a lot of traders lack. They don't know where the market is trying to go. But once you know, or once you understand where the market is about to go, all you need is just relax, let the market be ready without, taking a trade and constantly looking at the trade and thinking if it's going to go your way. So once I took it in November 21st, that was it. I never looked at it. I just let it go.
Amazing. Amazing, man. So like going from that being one of your best days, what would you say is one of your most memorable worst days? And what
Um,
and what did you learn from that worst day?
I'm glad you asked that question because I think that was it wasn't even the worst day. A couple of them I've, and that's the best thing about trading. When you have this kind of experience and you can push through, it makes you stronger. So back in 2018, I actually took a trade on the British pound, and that was when I was still learning about the new strategy or the way I view the market now. That's when I started learning. So I didn't have complete understanding of how it actually works, but I had done it for about 6 months and it was doing very well.
Mm,
So because it was doing well for 6 months, I thought I've had it, I've cracked it. So I was about to go on holidays, and I took this trade on the pound dollar.
mm.
And for some reason, it did work out for a few days, and eventually price started going against me. But if you've been trading for a while, you will know that when you've been consistent for a couple of months, you feel like you know the market. So taking a loss becomes something that it's really hard on you as a trader. So I didn't accept that I was wrong and
Mm.
I left it. And that was the worst thing I've ever done. I grew my account from $1,000 to 10,000. And just that month, I think it was the month of August 2018. Within 11 days, I gave back everything.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
within 11 days, I gave back from 1,000 to 10,000, and just 11 days, I gave back everything. That
Wow.
was the worst thing ever to happen to me.
It's gotta hurt. Gotta hurt. I mean, but
It did hurt.
yes, and you go through it as a trader and you learn.
Yes.
But what would you say is your process to prepare for a typical week? I mean, I mean, if you can give what your process is without spilling too much to give away your secret sauce, how would you
Right.
prepare for a week?
Okay. So I think I have about four, I use 4 hours on a Saturday, um, mostly to journal my week. So what I've done for that week that just ended, Saturday, 4 hours to put all that in my journal. And then on Sunday, I use the Sunday mornings to prepare for the week. So what I do is look at fundamentals, and then I go for pairs that I think that during the course of the week they are going to move, because there's data to show you that there are pairs that might move better than other pairs.
Okay.
So I do that analysis on Sunday, and then once I finish that process of using the fundamental data, I go on to use my secret sauce, which I'm not going to talk about it. Uh, that's one of my powerful secret sauce that I use. That has helped me tremendously in the market. And then after I use that, I go through the futures market. I use the currencies futures to kind of understand, based on the fundamental data, which pairs are going to move based on the futures market. And then from there, I can pick the pairs that I'm going to trade for the week. And then I then go to those pairs and then do price action analysis. So my process is a bit tedious. If you want to, understand, it takes time. So that's why during the week, everything is like smooth, but the preparation for the week, there's a lot that goes in my preparation. So 8 hours, 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday, just to get myself ready for the week.
That's amazing. And that process allows you to not have any fear as you're going into the market. So
Exactly.
so therefore you're at peace as you're watching for what you prepared to happen.
Yes. And the best thing is that, because I prepare that much, if what I'm looking for doesn't show itself, I don't do anything.
Right. Okay. So how do you gauge whether a particular pair that you're looking for is worth your time? So how do you gauge whether you should say you should discard this or whether you should actually give it your time?
Right. So the way I trade what we call the weekly ranges. I look at the weekly candles, and then I try to understand, is it going to expand up for the week, or is it going to expand down for the week?
Mm,
And before I actually choose the pair, it will be based on what it has done the previous week. So based on the previous week, if I see the price action on that was good enough for me to look at it this week, then I will consider that pair. But if it's not good enough, then I will not be using that pair. So what I use is, how did the week close for that week that just ended? If the week closed higher, then I'm looking for price to continue going higher, because what you need to understand is these big guys, they look at long term. So if the weekly time frame chart is showing you price it's expanding up, you don't want to be selling it, because big money is pushing price higher, right?
mm.
So that's where I start from. So if the week it didn't trade and close higher, then I don't pay attention to that pair, because to me, it's not showing me enough institutional fingerprint in that pair, right? So if I know that let's say, for example, GBP USD, right? It closed higher for the week. Then going into next week, I'll be expecting higher prices. And then the process is between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I would want price to give me some form of manipulation to the downside first, because according to my tape reading and how I was trained, most of the time price will manipulate opposite side of the market before you actually move in the direction that is intending to go. So if price wants to go higher, it might go lower first before it goes higher. So if I choose the pair and then we start on Monday and then the pair starts going up, I'm not interested, because there need to be some form of manipulation to the downside first before it goes higher. So if I don't see on Monday price going lower, I'm not trading it. I'll have to wait Tuesday to see if on Tuesday price is going to trade lower. If price doesn't trade lower, I'm not interested. Because one of the things that you need to understand is the market is always in the process of trying to take people out. That's how institutions get their position, to push price up or down. So for price to go higher, it needs to go lower first, and then it will scream higher. So if I don't see between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I say I'm not interested in that pair. And then if it does trade lower, then I start looking for, okay, how am I going to get in? Right. So that is where I spend most of my time analyzing, okay, the level that it has traded to, is it enough? Is it going to go a little bit lower? If I see that there are certain things that I look for, and if I see them shown to me on the charts, then I'm in for a trade. So this week I actually shorted the pound yen because I was expecting it to go lower. If you look at the pound yen, you will see on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday went up. And Wednesday, when there was rate announcement on the dollar index, it went up just a little bit to take out a high. And then as soon as it took out the high, price dropped like, I don't know, 300 to 400 pips. So as soon as it took out the high, I was in. I sold short. So I actually caught the high of the pound yen this week gone, and then I closed it at the low.
Amazing. Okay, so that is very valuable information. But on this last question that I wanted to get to you about, I wanted to ask you, what is something that you would share with your younger self 8 years ago before you pulled the trigger to start taking a stab at trading?
That's a great question. I think one of the things that I wish if I could go back and change, it would be, first of all, know what I was doing before I'll trade live. I'll advise my younger self to know what I'm actually doing before I trade live, because I would have saved myself a lot of money, because not knowing what you're doing, it's the cause of all the losses and all these psychological and mental breakdowns that people have when it comes to trading. So I'll advise my younger self to know what he's actually doing before pulling the trigger to trade a live account. If you don't know what you're doing, just trade demo all the time until you actually know exactly what you're doing.
Right. Okay. I definitely understand that, because there's so many mistakes that you can avoid.
Yes. And the money that you're going to lose, where we human beings are so attached to money, if you are not careful, it can lead you to have a very lengthy kind of journey in your trading, because all you'll be doing is actually trying to make back what you've lost, and that will send you tail spinning. You're gonna chase it, and it's not gonna happen. Believe me when I say it, because I've been doing it for 8 years. Is a bit of a time, and you don't want to waste, I think, 4 or 5 years of your life trying to chase something that you can just use a year or two to do.
Right.
Because if I had that advice, or if I had it but I just didn't listen, if someone tells you that don't trade live, just trade on demo, understand what you're doing first before you actually trade live. Try and listen, because they know what they're talking about. Because with the losses that I did go through, it actually made me chase to make them back. And by trying to make it back, that's what causes this lengthy way of, it's like you're trying to make it right and it's not happening. So you're gonna go through a whole lot of issues trying to learn new system. It's not gonna work. You try signal services, it's not gonna work. You try giving your money to someone to trade for you, it's not gonna work. So the only thing is you have to then spend time to understand what you are doing properly, and then you can trade live. And that's the best advice I'll give to my younger self. And then the second one would be do more of trading psychology,
Huh.
right? Spend time on trading psychology. Try to understand yourself with the market. I actually did a video on YouTube recently about knowing thyself in the market. One of the best things that came to me was I don't depend on anyone when it comes to trading. I depend
Right.
on myself. So when you come to that conclusion where you you trade the information that you know in the market and has absolutely zero input from someone, that's when you need to, start thinking you are almost there. Because the moment you start having other people's opinion in the market to influence you, you're going to still struggle.
Mm.
So you need to know yourself. You need to have a system that you have back tested. You've gone through all this hard work, and then this is what makes sense to you. That's when profitable traders are being born. If not, you're going to go through all this, changing of signal service, changing of providers, changing of mentors, and it's not going to work.
Right.
So spend time to come up with a system. Even if you're learning from someone, learn that and then spend time to make that system yours. When I say make that system yours, I mean make it, when you go to learn how to drive. Initially, you're gonna drive looking. You have a lot of issues when you're learning to drive, but at some point, driving becomes unconscious. Right? You're gonna drive. You sit in the car, you just go. But
Mm.
initially, it's gonna be a struggle. So the way you want to get your trading to is unconscious trading, where you sit in front of the screen, you know exactly what you're doing. You sit there, there's absolutely no doubt in your mind that this week you're gonna make money. If you don't have that, try and have that, and that's when you become a profitable trader. Because most of the week you're gonna go in scratching your head. I think this is gonna do this is gonna do that. No, you're gonna struggle. If you're going in the market, this is my plan. This is how I'm gonna look at the market. If it doesn't give me, I'm not gonna do anything. And that is what you need.
Right. Right. Man. So man, what they say, hindsight is 2020.
You
Man.
don't want to be trading hindsight. Hindsight doesn't give money in the bank account.
Right. Right. And man, so I tell you, it has been an amazing conversation with you, man. And I tell you, watching your process and seeing you teach others, seeing you grow yourself, it's very inspiring. So, man, tell them how can somebody reach out to you? Share your social medias, your handles, and everything.
Right. So, um, one of the things that got me actually to start coming out with, my understanding in price is based on the fact that I did struggle a lot. Right. If I say struggle, I've gone through it all. I spent a lot of money paying mentorship, paying courses, and all of it, right, didn't work out. Eventually, what I got was something that I have spent time with, information here, information there, and then my eye got open to see certain things in price, and it has helped me to grow. So I set out to make sure that anyone that is trading doesn't have to go through what I did. So that's why I do what I do. So when I'm actually doing it, I find it so much that there's pleasure in doing it, because I'm actually trying to help people to avoid all the hardship that I went through. They don't have to do that if only they will listen. Right? If they will listen, they don't have to go through that painful process. I cannot change it, but I can limit how long it's going to be, because it took me like 5 years, right, to get to understanding myself and understanding what I'm doing in the market. It took me 5 years. Now that's a long time. If you tell someone it's going to take you 5 years to be profitable trader, probably they're not going to trade.
Right.
So I'm trying to help everyone out there to make it shorter. So if you want to reach out, I'm actually with Elevated FX, helping them out with the members. You can also reach out to me on YouTube. I actually do live sessions Wednesdays and Fridays, London session. I just tell you what the market is going to do. And man, it's been amazing. All the members that join the live session are seeing change in their trading. You can also reach out to me on Telegram. It's at Elevated Minds, and you can also reach out to me on Instagram. Instagram is InstituteTrader, and yeah, you can reach out to Big Woods as well, and he'll direct you to me.
Got you. So I'll link all those social media links below, as well as in the video, so you'll see those there. So, man, I thank you guys for tuning in with us, listening to the NOFOMO podcast. We're going to continue to bring you this information to help you be a focused trader that's discussing the mindsets and objectives of being an effective and efficient trader, so that you can be the most profitable trader out there, so that you can be a part of that 9%. Because they say 98% of traders fail, and then so that the other 2% is that part of the group you want to be in, the focus elevated trader. So thank you for tuning in to the NOFOMO podcast, and we'll be back for more.